Okay, so I think on the last recording I had left off with figuring out this one. And oh yes, that's right, because I was figuring out the area of the circle, but then I had to divide that answer by 2 simply because it's not a full circle. Okay, so that's why whatever you do for your answer, whatever you get for your answer, you must divide it by 2 because it's not a full circle. So let me redo that one. So remember, the formula to get the area for the circle is pi times radius square. How do I know that? Because I have this. Ta-da! You'll be provided this on with the test as well, so you don't have to worry about trying to memorize these formulas, okay? Area is pi times radius square. Ta-da! Okay, so here we go. Pi radius square. So that's 3.14 times the radius, which is 6. If I square that, that's 36, right? Can't remember what I got last time. So let's do it again. Oh, look at that. It's still in my calculator. Okay, so I got this, 113.04. But remember, I had to divide it by 2 because it is not a full circle. I only have half a circle. Remember? I only have that part. So if I divide that by 2, I get 56.52. Okay, so that means this part is 56.52. Now let's figure out the area of this triangle. And if you look at your formula sheet, you will see to find the area of a triangle, it will be 1/2 times base times height. Let me do that H better. Height. Okay. And don't like dealing with fractions, so change it to a decimal. 1/2 is 0.50 times the base. What's the base here? 6. Okay, so the base here is the radius. Oh, wait a minute. Ooh, that's tricky. Look at that. Okay, so wait a minute. We only have the radius. Okay, the radius we know is 6. Remember, radius is halfway. If the radius is 6, which means halfway, see that? And that's the same length. Okay, if radius is halfway, what's all the way? All the way would mean diameter. Remember, the diameter is radius plus radius. So basically 6 plus 6, which is 12. So the base is 12. Times the height, which is 9. Careful with that. Let me do that again. Okay? So we don't get lost. Okay? Now look. To find the area of a triangle, you need 1/2 times base times height. So that's 0.50. But what is the base of this triangle? Okay, the base of this triangle is this, right? How do you know what that is? Well, I know that the radius, which is halfway across the circle, is 6. Now, that means halfway across the circle is also represented this way. Isn't that halfway across the same circle? Well, yes, it is. So if halfway across the circle is 6, the other half of the circle must be 6. 6 plus 6 is 12. See that? That's how I know the base is 12. Same thing with here. You know, the one that you're going to be doing by yourself. This is a radius, which is halfway across this circle, right? So that means halfway across the circle this way too is also 7, right? 7 plus the other half of the circle plus 7 is 14. So the base of this triangle would be 14. What about this one? The radius is 4. That's halfway across the circle. So look at the circle this way. 4. What's the other half? Must be 4. So the base, or diameter, is 8. Because again, a circle halfway across is radius. All the way across is diameter. Okay? All the way across the bottom of a triangle, okay, is a base. That's how all related to each other. So I hope that helps out. All right, so going back to where we were. Now I am about to multiply these together. That's right. So now I have 0.50 times 12 times 9. I have 54. So inside that triangle is the area of 54. And then I forgot what the area was for the half circle. I think it was 56 point something. It was that was 113.04 divided by 2. Let me find that out. Okay. That was it. This was 54 for the triangle, and this part of the circle, if we go back and remember, was 56.52. Okay, so we're going to add the 54 with the 56.52 in order to get the area of the triangle in that half circle. And so our answer would be 110.52. Voila. Okay, so I see the rest of these are for yourself to practice. There it is. Okay, so if you're looking at this one, this is the first one that you need to practice. Notice now you do have the length, because this is a rectangle, right? But what about the width? Or you can call this the width and call this the length. But how would you figure out what the length is? Oh, look, use this to your advantage. I'll do this one for you. Check this one out. Okay? Again, it's that half circle trick, right? Now you know that this is the radius of the circle. The radius is halfway of a circle, right? Which means if you look at the circle this way, that's halfway. So that's 2. That means if that's halfway, the other half must be 2. So what's the length altogether? I hope you see 4, because this half plus this half, so that length is 4. So you have 4 times 5. The area of this rectangle is 20. 4 times 5 is 20. And you know how to figure out the area of the circle, pi times radius squared, and divide it by 2, because you only have half of that circle. I hope that helps out. All right, I'm going to move on to the next section. Okay, next section is basically the same thing, except this time instead of adding two figures together, you're going to subtract. As you can see, you have a rectangle as your first figure here. See the rectangle? Right? And then we're going to take out a triangle. See that? So first, let's figure out the rectangle. Length times width. Now, I'm going to do that again because I covered up the number. Length and width. So you have 18 times 9, right? So 18 times 9, because we know the formula for figuring out the area of a rectangle is simply length times width. So 18 times the 9, that's 162. Okay? But now we have to take that 162 and subtract the amount of a triangle. What was the formula for a triangle again? If you look at your formula sheet, area of a triangle, 1/2 base times height. Oh yeah, some of you guys probably have that memorized by now, right? 1/2, I'll do the triangle in a different color. 1/2 times base times height. 1/2, also known as 0.50, times the base. What is the base of this triangle? Then make sure that triangle stands out for you. Base of that triangle is this much. How much is this much? Oh, I know, it matches the same amount as this. That's 9. Times the height. How much is the height? It's telling you 9. That's not the height. That's too high. Triangle stops right here. So that's 9. Which actually is halfway, isn't it? Alright. 9. So let's multiply all those together. 0.50 times 9 times 9. I get 40.5. Okay? So this is 40.5. Now, this time, what do we do with these two numbers? Nope, not add them. These we subtract. That's why it's like, white, so it's like missing. So I'm going to take my 162, subtract my 40.5. I get 112, or excuse me, 121.5 as my answer. Okay? Oh, let's do one with a full circle in it here. So with these two, what do I have going on? I have a perfect square and a circle. First, let's figure out the area of the square. Again, 20 times 20. We can do base times height. 400. Okay? Out of curiosity, let me see if they give you a different formula for a square. Oh, they don't even give it to you. Okay? And then the circle. Let's figure out the area of the circle. Alright, how do I figure out area of a circle again? Oh yeah, right. Pi radius square. Okay, so that means I'm going to do pi radius squared. So that's 3.14 times the radius. Radius is 10, but square that 10. So 10 times 10, 100. Multiply these together, you're going to get 314. Okay, so now, what am I going to do with these two numbers? Simple. You're going to subtract. You're going to take that square, take out a circle. Okay? Take the square amount, subtract the circle. So that means you're going to subtract 314 from 400. 400 minus 314, you will get 86. So that means my answer shall be the difference between the two shapes, 86. Okay? I keep forgetting the units. Remember that. Alright, whoops. So now, let's try number 3. Alright, number 3, I see a large rectangle. So I'm going to do length times width. That's 10.5 times 6, 10.5 times 6, I get 63. And then I'm going to take out this itty bitty square. That could be simply as 3 times 3, which is 9. Okay? And then I have 9. Subtract the difference. I'm going to get 54. So here, 54 yards is the difference. Okay? Alright, so easy enough, right? Same thing with this one. Hey, you know what? Once you figure out one circle, double that, because this is the same amount. Subtract that from this rectangle. Same thing. Rectangle against rectangle. Ooh, I like this one. You have circle against triangle. Okay? And it's telling you that the radius here is 9 for this circle. And you know how to do that triangle. 1/2 times base times height. Alrighty. What's next? Can you handle these? Absolutely. Ooh, I like this one. Don't let this one fool you. Okay? Check this out. You know that this is 3. But you're probably like wondering, well then what's this, Mrs. Hart? Don't worry. Okay? So you got this one as 3. And you know the radius of this is 2. Let me do that in a different color. Alright, so if the radius here is 2, and all I did was move the radius around a little bit. And remember, whatever your answer is for the circle, you're going to divide it by 2 because you only have half the circle, right? Alright, if this is 3, then how much is this? Can you figure it out by what you see? I don't know. Can you? I can. But I'm going to leave that one up to you. That'll be a challenge question, won't it? But don't worry, that one won't be on a test. But I'd like to see how many of you guys can figure that one on your own. Just by what's in front of you. The circle helps you. You want to know why? Because this half is a circle. If this is 2, that means this is 2. Which means this is 2. Which means this is 2. Which means this is 2. There's your clue. See you on the next one.